Jordan pressed against the observation window of the Luna 7 space station, watching Earth spin slowly below like a giant blue marble. Dark curls floated around a face lit by wonder, brown eyes reflecting the stars that dotted the infinite blackness. The silver jumpsuit, marked with the Junior Explorer badge, crinkled softly with each excited movement. "Mission Control, this is Explorer Jordan reporting for duty." The words echoed through the empty corridor. Today was supposed to be special, the first solo assignment monitoring the new telescope array. But where was everyone? The station felt different, without the usual bustle of scientists and engineers. Floating down the main corridor, past the hydroponics lab where tomatoes grew upside down and the recreation room with its magnetic chess sets, everything seemed too quiet. A soft beeping drew attention to the communication panel. Commander Chen's face appeared on the screen, her usually calm expression tight with concern. "Explorer, we have a situation. The telescope array's alignment system has malfunctioned. We need someone to manually adjust the mirrors before the comet passes tonight, or we'll miss our only chance to study it for the next 75 years.
"I can do it, Commander."
"It's not that simple. The controls are in Section B4, and that's—" She paused. "That's where Alex is working today." The excitement drained away like air from a punctured spacesuit. Alex. Of course. 2 weeks ago, during the station's science fair, everything had gone wrong. Months of work on the crystal-growing experiment, carefully tended in the zero-gravity lab, had been destroyed when Alex accidentally knocked over the containment unit while showing off a fancy flip maneuver. The crystals had shattered into 1,000 glittering pieces that still occasionally floated past in the air vents.
"There must be someone else who can—"
"Everyone else is on the Mars shuttle or Earth side. It's just you two up there until tomorrow." Commander Chen's voice softened. "I know it's difficult, but this is bigger than hurt feelings. The scientific community is counting on us." The screen went dark, leaving only the reflection of a worried face in the black glass. The journey to Section B4 took longer than necessary. Every excuse to stop seemed valid, checking the air filters, testing the emergency stations, counting the freeze-dried ice cream packets in storage. But later, the heavy door to the telescope control room loomed ahead. Through the porthole window, Alex hunched over a complex control panel, red hair sticking up in zero-gravity spikes. The same Alex who had laughed when the crystals scattered, saying, "It's just some rocks, Jordan. Don't be such a baby about it."
The door hissed open.
"Oh, it's you." Alex didn't look up from the controls. "I suppose Chen told you about the telescope."
"She said we need to work together."
"Well, I don't need your help. I've got it handled." Alex's fingers flew across the keyboard, but the warning lights on the panel kept flashing red. "The alignment sequence requires 2 people. Says so right in the manual."
"Since when do you read the manual?" "Since someone has to be responsible around here."
Alex's hands slammed down on the console. "One mistake. I made one mistake, and you act like I destroyed the whole station." "You destroyed 6 months of work. Do you know how many nights I stayed up monitoring those crystals? How many growth charts I filled out? How many dash?" "Yes, I know. You've told everyone on the station at least twice. Even the maintenance robots have probably heard about your precious crystals by now." Jordan floated to the opposite control panel, studying the maze of buttons and switches. The comet would pass in 3 hours. 3 hours to save a once-in-a-lifetime scientific opportunity, and the only help available was the person who'd ruined everything.
"Fine. Tell me what I need to do."
For the next hour, they worked in icy silence, communicating only in clipped technical terms. Adjust mirror 3 by 2 degrees. Confirmed. Rotating array 17 degrees starboard. Acknowledged. But the telescope array wasn't cooperating. Each adjustment seemed to make things worse, the mirrors reflecting starlight in every direction except where they needed it to go. "This isn't working." Alex's frustration finally boiled over. "The stupid thing won't calibrate."
Maybe if you actually followed the sequence instead of trying to take shortcuts. Maybe if you stopped criticizing everything I do for 5 seconds.
A sharp crack interrupted the argument. On the main screen, one of the telescope's support struts had snapped, sending the entire array into a slow spin. No, no, no! Alex's fingers flew across the controls. If we lose the array, the whole mission is ruined. Without thinking, Jordan pushed off from the wall, floating to Alex's side. Show me the structural readouts.
Here. The stress is built on struts 4 and 7. If they snap too,
we can redistribute the load to the backup supports, but we'll need to work fast. You handle the weight distribution, I'll manage the rotation controls. For the first time since the crystal incident, they worked as a team. Alex called out calculations while Jordan's hands danced across the controls, each movement precise and purposeful. The array's spin slowed, stopped, then reversed.
It's holding, Alex breathed, but we still need to realign the mirrors.
The automatic sequence is corrupted. We'll have to do it manually, one mirror at a time.
That'll take forever. The comet will pass before we can finish.
Jordan studied the display, mind racing through possibilities. Now we split up. You take mirrors 1 through 15, I'll handle 16 through 30. We can meet in the middle.
That's actually brilliant.
They worked with desperate efficiency, calling out progress reports as each mirror clicked into position. 7 complete. 23 aligned. 12 is giving me trouble. Try reversing the polarity. With 5 minutes to spare, the last mirror locked into place. The telescope array hummed to life, its sensors already tracking the approaching comet. We did it, Alex said quietly, staring at the perfect alignment readings.
Yeah, we did.
The control room fell quiet except for the gentle hum of electronics. On the main screen, the comet appeared as a brilliant streak of light and ice, its tail stretching across the star field like a cosmic paintbrush. Jordan, Alex's voice cracked slightly. I need to tell you something about the crystals.
It's okay. We need to focus on...
No, please. Let me say this. Alex turned away from the controls, meeting Jordan's eyes for the first time in weeks. I didn't mean to break them. I was showing off, trying to impress the visiting scientist with that stupid flip. When I hit your experiment, I panicked. And instead of apologizing like I should have, I made that awful joke.
The words hung in the air between them like space dust.
I watched you work on those crystals every day. You talked to them sometimes like they were pets or something. You named the biggest one Frederick, and I destroyed Frederick because I wanted to look cool. Despite everything, a small smile tugged at the corner of Jordan's mouth. You remember Frederick? Are you kidding? You gave me daily Frederick updates. Frederick grew 2 millimeters today. Frederick's looking particularly sparkly this morning. Alex's impression was surprisingly accurate. I felt terrible, but I was too embarrassed to admit it. So I acted like a jerk instead, which just made everything worse. The comet continued its journey across the screen, its icy core reflecting sunlight in brilliant bursts. The telescope's instruments recorded every detail, gathering data that scientists would study for years. I worked really hard on that experiment, Jordan said quietly. When you broke it, I felt like you were saying my work didn't matter. I know. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry. Alex's shoulders slumped. I've been trying to figure out how to apologize for 2 weeks, but every time I got close, you looked so angry that I chickened out. The anger that had burned so hot for 2 weeks flickered and began to fade. I wasn't just angry. I was hurt. We were friends, and it felt like you didn't care. I do care. I care so much that I spent last week trying to recreate your experiment. Look. Alex pulled up a different screen, showing a small chamber in the lab. Inside, tiny crystals caught the light. They're nowhere near as good as yours were. Turns out growing crystals in zero gravity is really hard. Who knew? Everyone who read the manual, Jordan said, but there was warmth in the words now. Those actually look pretty good for a first attempt. Frederick would be proud.
Really?
Really? Though you might want to adjust the temperature by half a degree. Crystals are picky about that. They floated side by side, watching the comet reach its closest point to Earth. The telescope captured image after perfect image, its repaired array working flawlessly.
I'm sorry, too, Jordan said suddenly. I shouldn't have held on to my anger for so long. You tried to talk to me a few times, and I just walked away. I deserved it. Maybe, but staying mad didn't fix anything. It just made us both miserable. Alex held out a hand. Friends again?
Jordan looked at the offered hand, then at the comet on the screen. A reminder that some things only come around once in a lifetime. Forgiveness, unlike comets, didn't have to be so rare. Friends. They shook hands, the motion sending them both into a gentle spin that ended in laughter. So, Alex said, grinning now, want to help me with the new crystal batch? I promise not to do any flips near them. Only if you promise to read the manual first. Deal. But you have to admit my crystals look pretty cool. They look like lumpy space potatoes. Lumpy space potatoes with potential. Commander Chen's face appeared on the communication screen, her expression relieved. Excellent work, explorers. The data from the comet is coming through perfectly. I see you two managed to work together after all. Jordan and Alex exchanged a look. We figured out that some things are more important than staying angry, Commander. That's a lesson many adults still haven't learned. I'm proud of you both. She smiled. Now, since you make such a good team, I have a new assignment for you. The Mars colony needs help calibrating their new greenhouse sensors. We're on it, Commander, they said in unison. As Commander Chen signed off, Alex turned to Jordan with a mischievous grin. Race you to the Mars communication room?
You're on, but no flips. What about barrel rolls? Alex. Kidding. Mostly.
They pushed off from the wall simultaneously, laughter echoing through the station corridors. The comet continued its journey through space, carrying its tail of ice and light into the darkness. But in the Luna 7 station, two friends had discovered something just as remarkable, that forgiveness could shine even brighter than any cosmic phenomenon. The telescope array hummed quietly in the vacuum of space, its mirrors perfectly aligned, ready for whatever wonders the universe might reveal next. And in the control room, the screens displayed not just the comet's data, but a small message Alex had programmed to appear. Frederick II, coming soon to a zero-gravity lab near you. Jordan noticed it first and burst out laughing. Frederick II?
Well, we can't just call him Frederick. That would be confusing. We could call him Fred. Fred the Crystal? That's ridiculous. More ridiculous than talking to crystals in the first place? Hey, you started that tradition.
Their friendly bickering continued as they floated through the station, preparing for their next mission. The stars watched through the windows, constant and patient, having seen countless friends reunite across the ages. In the grand scale of the universe, one broken experiment and 2 weeks of anger might seem insignificant. But for two young explorers learning to navigate both space and friendship, it was a lesson worth more than all the comet data in the galaxy. The hydroponic tomatoes continued growing upside down, the maintenance robots wheeled through their daily routines, and somewhere in the lab, the first crystals of Frederick II began to form. Life on Luna 7 returned to normal, or as normal as life could be on a space station orbiting Earth. And if anyone asked about the great crystal incident of 2025, as it came to be known, Jordan and Alex would share a look and a smile. Because sometimes the best discoveries weren't found in space at all, but in learning that friendship, like the universe itself, had room for both mistakes and forgiveness. The comet faded into the distance, not to return for 75 years, but the lesson it helped teach would last much longer, a reminder that holding on to anger was like trying to catch stardust with your hands. Better to let it go and reach for something brighter instead.